Hey guys, Mitch, Kendra here from Racer Excellent. We're with Sophie Phelps, WMX racer. We're at Loretta Lynn's ranch for the Monster Energy AMA Amateur National Motocross Championship. We're going to dive into all the topics. We're starting with Wednesday here. We're going to start with Open Pro Sport because that's when we got to the ranch as the Moto was taking off. So we're going to dig into that, dig into some of the highlights, some of the raw riding footage, some of the heartbreak we saw, and everything in between. So let's get into it.
The Open Pro Sport and the 250 Pro Sport classes this year at Loretta Lynn's are stacked. We have so many fast riders. To name a few, we have Drew Adams, Enzo Temmerman, Liam Olaf, Jeremy Fapani, Heath Harrison, Noah Stevens, Avery Long, Cole Davies, Andrew Short, Parker Ross, Jace Allred. This thing is packed. There are so many dudes in here. So Open Pro Sport was wild today.
Yeah, so right off the bat, I think it was Drew Adams, Enzo Timmerman, Liam Olaf, Noah Stevens. They're all kind of battling, shuffling for positions. I believe Olaf had the early lead and then kind of got shuffled back to third, which was where he would eventually finish. And Drew Adams took the big moto win there. He had the fastest lap of the race, I believe, and I think it might be the fastest lap of the racing so far of the motos. And that was a good rebound for him after his eventual fourth yesterday in yesterday's moto, after charging from 34th. So a fourth and a first so far in his first two motos. And Enzo Timmerman finished second, again Olaf third, Stevens fourth, and then Jeremy Fapani in his first Pro Sport moto finished fifth, so that was a strong ride from him.
Schoolboy too followed Open Pro Sport today. Caden Dundee got out to an early lead and he held it the entire race, finishing with a pretty good gap. He also threw down the fastest lap time today. Landon Gordon had to work up from a little bit further back, but he came into second place and had a great ride as well. He's a notable mention in the sense that he won 250B yesterday. The rest of the class was also really packed, with Landon Hartz, Logan Best, and Landon Gibson finishing off the top 5.
All right, next up was the WMX class. Again, there's lots of stacked women from WMX racers from the series, from the girls that are transitioning from the girls class up to the WMX class. There's also some GNCC racers. So, Sophia, what did you see in that class in terms of results, in terms of people that impressed you?
The women's class is always a really fun one to watch, and today was no different. Kylie Stallings pulled the whole shot, and if you look at lap times, it looks like she had an easy race all the way to the win, but that could not be further from the truth. Kylie actually dealt with a lot of adversity from behind her, with Jordan Jarvis and Lachlan Turner coming up behind her and trying to make passes. They went back and forth a little bit from time to time, but for the most part, Kylie held a decent lead over Jordan and Lala. Lala went down twice. It was really, really exciting. Michaela Nielsen came from a little bit further back because she had a bad start in an early crash, but ended up fourth. And Taylor Jones, one of our GNCC riders, ended up fifth.
Lala Turner, I think she was one of the fastest riders I saw in that far sand section. She was just on the gas and Jordan Jarvis was all over, so that was a really fun battle. So obviously Stallings, she seems to get those whole shots and comes to run away with the motos. That's kind of what we've seen with her in the past. How was she able to execute everything just from the beginning and just kind of carry that momentum all the way through the moto?
One thing, like you said, that Kylie is really good at is her start. It's so tough to beat her on a start, and I will say that as a competitor, she's amazing. But the rest of the track, she's also very consistent. She does not let off anywhere. Lala, like you're saying, is a very loose rider, which works really well for how she likes to go through sections like that sand section. It's really rough, but she lets the bike move underneath her, and that's a strength of hers. So you're right, she was one of the fastest riders through that section. Kylie's really good at managing her races. She gets out in front. She doesn't tip over from pressure, and she doesn't crack under pressure, and she's very good at riding out in front and not worrying about the people behind her. Lala threw down some really fast laps, and in fact she put down the fastest lap of the women's moto today. However, we saw Lala make some mistakes. Both very impressive riders, but they ended up first and third due to their different riding styles.
Yeah, and one thing to note on Lala Turner, she had I believe it was a neck/back injury a couple months ago, right? And she was working back from that. She just got on a new Yamaha that she's been, I think, has a couple months on now. And then she came to the WMX series, won a couple of motos there. So it's been quite the eventful last couple months for Lala. So
yeah, to put a little bit of a timeline on that, at the very beginning of the year is when she had her back injury. She broke her back in some way. I'm not sure exactly how. Then she raced the second and the third rounds of WMX, and then she broke her foot. She had a broken foot until regionals, and after regionals, she was cleared to ride again. Then she got on a Yamaha. She has had a wild year so far, and she's dealing with it very well.
All right, and then as we started to transition to the second motos here towards the end of Wednesday, we saw the Vet 30 Plus racing, and once again, Brandon Haas, he got out front, he did his thing, 1-1, leading and going into the third moto. And if you don't know, he's the team owner of the WMX Muck-Off FXR Yamaha team. So his team riders are pretty fast. He's pretty fast as well. He's sitting on a 1-1. Riley Bro is sitting on a 2-2, and Kenny Henry is sitting on a 3-3. So that class is a little bit more steady. But let's jump into the senior 40 plus class, where that has been a little bit of the same thing. Mike Brown up front, but those motos have been really exciting so far. All right, and then we had the senior 40 plus also had their second moto today as well. So we saw some good battles in the first moto between Andrew Short and his return to the ranch, and Mike Brown. I believe Brown was leading and he fell over, and Andrew Short got him yesterday. And then today they were reversed. Brown got Short. It was a fun battle. Andrew Short's picking some new lines, so yeah, again, that was an exciting one to watch there. And Sophie, dig into the lap times there from that race.
Some really impressive lap times here from first and second place. They were both doing 156s. To give you guys an idea who aren't here, 250 Pro Sport was the very next moto. These best lap times would put them in 6th and 7th place in the 250 Pro Sport class. That is unreal for guys that are, hate to say it, but kind of old. Mike Brown is over 50, and he's running 6th place lap times in 250 Pro Sport. That's unreal.
Yeah, and then a quick shout out to Jeff Emig. He got 5th in the first moto, which doesn't look like a great result, but I think he was outside the top 20 at the beginning of the race. So really great charge there. He still keeps his overall podium hopes alive with a 5th and then a 3rd in the second moto. So again, exciting battles there. And then let's get to the 250 Pro Sport, which ended the day off here. All right, and then the last big moto of the day, the second last moto, was the second 250 Pro Sport moto. And just a quick recap yesterday, Cole Davies got the whole shot, pretty much dominated. It was his perfect ride in his first ever moto here at the ranch, and he took the race win. And today we had a little bit of shuffling. It was Yamaha teammates Avery Long and Liam Olaf out front. Drew Adams made his way up to 3rd, then he crashed back and was in 6th, and then all of a sudden, Drew Adams came around and was in the lead. We had Preston Massiangelo went down off the start. Right behind us over here, I looked over and happened to see a bike front flipping. Luckily, he was carted off. He seemed to be okay. We don't know the extent of his injuries yet. But then, yeah, let's dig into the race out front. Again, the two Yamaha guys were leading, and then here they ended up falling down in the same turn. Not with each other, but kind of with each other. So that was just a wild thing. And again, Drew Adams had caught up to those guys, then had a mistake of his own, dropped back a couple positions. Parker Ross was up there on his Honda, getting into the mix. And yeah, just a lot of battling. Again, there's so many heavy hitters in this class on all different bikes. So really, it was just a fun moto to watch.
Adding to the chaos of that race, Christian Janik had a very unsafe exit maneuver from his motorcycle near the finish line, which was very scary, and I'm glad he's okay. Following the accidental tip over from the two Yamaha teammates, Drew Adams and Parker Ross came around in 1st and 2nd. Everyone was pretty confused. Luckily, those two were able to pick up their bikes and still finish in 3rd and 4th, so they only lost 2 positions, which was pretty good. Enzo Temmerman finished in 5th, and he had to work his way up from kind of mid-pack. He came around the first lap in 17.
Yeah, and then so after the 2 motos now, Adams with his 4th yesterday, again off that huge charge. He has 4-1 moto scores going into the 3rd moto over Parker Ross's 7-2 and then Avery Long's 2-3. So again, there's a lot of capable guys can win. We kind of knew this we knew this heading into this week. And so it's kind of who's going to rise to the occasion and who's going to take the 3rd moto in the championship to finish this one off. All right, guys, that's our Wednesday recap from some of the end of the first motos and some of the second motos. We're going to go watch some FMX, so we're going to end this video. Tune back in tomorrow for more recaps and highlights.
See you tomorrow.
Come on!